Hi everyone, it's Louisa from Lou Can Trade, and today is Friday, January the 16th. This video contains two trades that I took. One was yesterday afternoon, which was Thursday, January 15th for 66 points, and the trade I took this morning for 172 points. I'm going to take you through what I saw, why I took the trade, and what the setup was. So let's jump right into it. So here we are on NQ. I'm on the 2 minute and I'm going to go over to Thursday afternoon's trade for 66 points. Now, yesterday morning was super choppy. We had some news, and then at 9:30 we had this candle open right here. So this candle open came down, and then we had this huge chop fest. I took a couple of small trades. Sometimes I want to feel like I need to feel the market. And so I enter for very small positions with almost no drawdown, just to get a feel for what the price action is doing. But here is really the magic of the day. This here was the manipulation right here. And this happened at when price opened at, here we are, 9:26 and then 9:44, just before the macro opened. Now, Asia and London had really moved up overnight, like quite a lot. When that happens, when price moves up a lot overnight, we can anticipate that manipulation will either be delayed or we're going to have some price distortion the following morning. In other words, the real move or, a proper setup is going to be delayed later in the day, and that's exactly what happened. So here we had chop, 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 chop. Now notice that this was the high. This was indeed the manipulation, but if you entered here, you really had to suffer through a lot of chop fest here. Then notice this SIBI. Now I'm on the 2 minute here, and I like to be on the 2 minute, but notice this SIBI formed. I think it might have actually been on the 1 minute it formed, but it formed this SIBI. And a lot of the chop fest, the bodies of the candles were respecting this SIBI. We colored outside the lines a little bit at 11:50, and then we took this high at 12:08. Uh, Price um, expanded downwards, and there was some okay displacement, not great displacement. We had some fair value gaps coming down. A good displacement to me is long candles with some fair value gaps in them, right? Some SIBIs. But this is what I saw right here is when price came back into the SIBI after chopping around, chopping around, chopping around, price came back in at 136. So I was looking for potentially a trade that would coincide with the 145 to 215 macro. So this suited my purposes. So I was watching this to see if it would set up nicely. And then I entered on this candle, which was just before 2 p.m. So we had a nice setup, came back into the SIBI, and then continued to drop. I exited here. So it wasn't a really long trade, but you know what? It was 66 points. It was okay. But what I want to demonstrate here is that when we have a buy side of the curve, when the sell side of the curve begins to play out, we're using the BISIs from the left side of the curve to help us navigate our way down through the trade. So what was interesting is that we could see that price moved through these two BISIs but stopped right here, and that was at 15:50 in the afternoon. Now, why I use this is important for the trade that I took this afternoon. So all in all, 66 points done for the day out. And then overnight, Asia trended up. And what I mean by trended is that it moved from point A to point B. So it had a trend up, and then London, I would consider this a consolidation. I did wake up last night to see if I could get a nice trade off Asia, but I didn't see any setup I didn't see a smart money reversal setup that would entice me. So I just thought I'm going to wait for volatility to come into the market this morning. So London ranged here, moved up, and then the AM, we took out London, the second 90-minute section of London. So we took that out, and then price climbed up and took out London high. I'm going to make my chart a lot bigger here so we can see the details of why I entered this trade. So here is London high. Very clearly, price took out London high and formed an SMT. So I need an SMT inside a macro or close to a macro to take a trade. That's part of my smart money reversal entry model. So even though we had a lot of chop here, I just waited through that until we had the 9:45 news in, and this red line signifies the 9:45 news. Once that 9:45 news was in, and I was pretty sure that we were going bearish because we had this manipulation here. So I'm just going to put an M here for manipulation. So we have accumulation, manipulation, distribution. I want to be in the trade for the distribution part of that cycle. So that is the cycle of the market: accumulation, manipulation, distribution. And if you can find where manipulation happens, you can just get into the trades for the distribution, which is how I trade. And these are ICT concepts. Okay, so at this point, 9:45, the news unfolds and we have a change in the state of delivery, which is right here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see why this is change in the state of delivery. So let's just make this a little bit bigger. This candle that wicked up, which is this manipulation leg here, I want to look for the candle or the series of up close candles that supported the movement down. And so it's these two green candles here. So the change in the state of delivery goes below these two candles. So here's my change in the state of delivery. So for my model, I need a purge on liquidity inside the macro or very close to the macro. I need an SMT, change in the state of delivery. I then need a inverted fair value gap and a fair value gap, ideally, for a very high probability trade. So here is my SIBI. And then on the 1 minute, I did not see an inverted fair value gap, but I know that if I had the 15 second or 30-second chart on TradingView, which I don't have, but I've seen this setup so many times, I see it every day, that I know it's in there. I'm not able to point it out to you guys yet, but just trust me, it's in there. So I entered here on this candle. So when this candle came in and just kissed this SIBI, I went short. And then here's where it becomes really interesting. I'm going to move these BISIs over so you can see how I used these to follow price down. So these were the BISIs from yesterday. And remember, price stopped just on top of this third BISI here. So when I'm looking for a terminus for my trade, I'm thinking to myself, okay, where is liquidity? Where does smart money want to run? Smart money ran price up. It took all these stops out. So it sold up here and it's going to want to take price down low, and it's going to want to take price lower than yesterday. So again, let's just keep in mind that price stopped here and then started moving up again. Okay, so for sure, I knew that price was going to come below here, or not for sure. I mean, there's a high probability. Nothing is for sure, right? So what did I have around this area? Well, I had the Asia low. I had the AM low, which starts at from 7 a.m. to about 10 a.m. is my AM. And then we have previous day lows here. So I was targeting for previous day low. As it happened, price did not hit previous day low, but I believe that this is a pullback and we're probably going to hit previous day low later today or Monday. I don't know. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. There is risk in trading, and I don't encourage anybody to trade. I'm merely providing you with some entertainment on the trades that I take. Okay, So entered here, and we ran through London low. I am watching price to see what the reaction is every time we get to these BISIs that we ran through yesterday. Now, there's no reason for price to stop here and turn around and go higher. We went through these BISIs yesterday. But what was really interesting to me was how is price going to react when we got to that third BISI? So here we were yesterday, price turned reversed here, but I now see every reason why price needs to go lower because we were just here yesterday. What's the point of coming back here? We've already swept this liquidity. So once price got into this SIBI, I am watching, or sorry, this BISI, I am watching very carefully to see how price is responding. And so once price gets to the consequent encroachment of a fair value gap, that shows weakness in my personal opinion. And so I felt pretty comfortable that price was going to move through this BISI and then head for the previous day low. As it happened, we stopped just before this previous day low. I should have probably exited here, but I thought, okay, there might be a little bit of a pullback before we continue down. And you know what? That's fine. That's just the way it is. You can pyramid out of your trade so that you don't, so you want to optimize. Anyway, this is where I exited. And so this was 172 points, 5 RR. I just want to show you where I put my stop loss because I get a lot of questions about my stop loss. So this SIBI here, one second. Sorry, I think I'm going to sneeze. This SIBI here was fundamental to me entering the trade. So my stop loss was very tight. I put the stop loss just above this. Well, actually, here's where I put it. So just above this swing high here. This was my stop loss. Let me just put that in here to show you guys. That was my stop loss. And then so you can see here, there's my stop loss right there. So this was a 5.63 RR and 172 points. So between 172 points this morning and 66 yesterday afternoon. And then I think it was 21 points in here, something like that. Nothing really exciting. Um, that is 238 points in 2 trades with no losses. So that ended my week, and just again wanted to share this with you. If you're watching price this afternoon, this I'm surmising here is just a nice little pullback, and then probably, or there's a likelihood that price might go for a previous day low or not. It's Friday, who knows. Price is going to do what price wants to do. But I want to thank you for joining me. And Sunday at 2 p.m., I do go live for a market analysis for the following week. And I do trade live every morning, Monday through Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And feel free to join me. So thanks for coming out. Peace and have a beautiful weekend. Bye for now.